Um, back in my time when I used to be a minister, right? There was a certain passage in the Bible that I used to quote to my members of the congregation, right? This passage is it simply say this. It says, "A house that is divided will not stand." Once again, a house that is divided will not stand. Now, question: what do that mean to y'all? A house divided will not stand. What it means to me is this: is that if one is not unified, if one is not on the same page, then all it takes is just a small crack to tear down the whole house. That's all it takes. Just a small crack in the foundation to tear the whole thing down. And that on small crack, it could be just as subtle. Why am I mentioning this tonight on this podcast? Reason why I'm mentioning this on this podcast is because this is exactly how the Black Manosphere is right now. All it took was just a small crack, just a small one. By that small crack occurring, now the whole entire Black Manosphere is divided. Now I throughout my podcasts and stuff, I cover a lot talking about the one red pill, the Black Manosphere, and all these different other type of movements and stuff, right? One of the main things I always said about the Black Manosphere, and I stand on my word about this, is that the Black Manosphere is filled with nothing but beta male simps, and I stand by that. Throughout this week, my stance has been proven right because the Black Manosphere is full of nothing but beta male simps. Every last one of them, beta male simps, all of them. The things that I have witnessed in the one Black Manosphere, dudes going back and forth on, arguing about crazy stuff on having super panels and all kind of dumb stuff. It just blows my mind for real. Blows my mind for real. And the crazy part about it is that it all happened because of just a single crack in the foundation. That's where it all started at. Now, also on my podcast, I've been also, not only I've been saying that through the Black Manosphere is nothing but filled with beta male simps who've been hurt in the past. But I've been saying a whole lot of other things as well about the Black Manosphere. Been saying that these dudes are weak. And of course, I've been saying, they're simps and stuff too. I'm gonna put y'all this way. You want to know the greatest blessing and the greatest curse that a man has right now in their possession? The greatest blessing and the greatest curse that a man have in their possession right now. The greatest curse and the greatest blessing that a man have right now is a woman. That's where it boils down to. A woman is a man's greatest blessing. And the reason why is because that woman has the one opportunity to help procreate. That woman had the opportunity to create companionship. That woman had the ability to become a helpmeet. That woman had the ability to become very beneficial for that man. That's how the woman is the greatest blessing. Now, at the same time, the woman is the greatest curse for the man is for the simple reason that the same token how a woman could, do all these wonderful things for a man, at the same token, a woman could tear the hell out of a man too, or tear the hell out of a foundation quick. And this is what happened this week with this situation with Pearl. All it took was just a woman. It just took one woman to allow a crack to be discovered in the black manosphere. That's all it took. For that one little crack end up dividing the whole entire black manosphere. But the interesting part about it is that y'all may be thinking that this whole show is going to be talking about Pearl again. But no, we're not going to talk about Pearl tonight. This whole entire show, this whole entire podcast is dedicated to this man, Nick Fuentes. Now, just like I stated, all it took was just one little crack. One little crack. One little sign of weakness. That's all it took. Now, I want to tell y'all how dangerous Nick Fuentes is. All he did was just showed up to Pearl's show. That's all he did. He didn't go into extremes about, his beliefs and about being a supremacist and stuff like that. He didn't even do that. He didn't even go super hard, like, how he was with, Kanye West and everybody else, or, with other social media outlets. He didn't even go hard. It was just his very presence of him being there. And that's who created the crack. And to be honest with you, the crack was there. He saw it. He saw opportunity. He took it. So in reality, this whole situation that's happening now, it's not only just because of Pearl, which I agree, she need to be held accountable, but the bigger part is this man right here, Nick. Nick Fuentes had let us discover how weak the black manosphere really is, how divided the black manosphere really is. The black manosphere is so divided right now. We got dudes who I call house dudes who are doing some extreme house simping. Then on the other hand, we have the pro-black black manosphere, where people is pro-black and we all blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, it's divided because of that. And the interesting part is that the only thing that was barely keeping this thing together with the black manosphere was dealing with relationships. That was the one thing that was keeping it together. But it was barely, through my experience of watching and, looking at different podcasts and stuff, that's looking in the bushes of different various content creators and podcasts and the stuff that I've seen, it was barely holding on to a thread, even with relationships. Because there was even separations even within that. But all it took was that little crack for this young man, Nick Fuentes, to come in and tear the whole thing down and divided the whole entire black manosphere. That's all it took. That's all it took. Can't be salute. Appreciate you tuning in. But that's all it took was for him to do that. And so now, throughout this whole week, I've just been saying the whole black manosphere is totally divided. Like I stated before, and I stated again, I don't watch content creators create super panels. I done seen some content creator talking about, forget all that, it's about the money, it's about the bag. I done seen all kind of crazy stuff within the Black Manosphere that been happening. And the crazy part about this whole situation is that I'm talking about this, but I'm just a content creator. This is content to me. Am I part of the Black Manosphere? Nope. Am I part of the Red Pill movement? Nope. No, I'm not. I am my own man with my own beliefs. I'm not affiliated, associated with no type of sets or groups or anything like that, which y'all know. Hell, that was the reason one of the many reasons why I'm no longer affiliated with the former group with State Gang. It's because I want to be my own person. I don't want to be affiliated with nobody. I want to stand on my own personal beliefs on my own. I don't want no type of influences whatsoever to try to influence me to think a certain way, how the way I should think or feel, how the way I should feel. The only time loyalty should be questioned by me is dealing with only me, not with me being affiliated with any type of group whatsoever. So I stand on my own. I do on my own. I say whatever I want to say on my own. But I've been noticing that too, even with the Black Manosphere, certain things that they can say and certain things they can't say. Then if they do say it, it's like almost as though you breaking a treaty or something. Or you be considered as not being loyal or, some weird stuff, you know what I'm saying? But let's dive into this. Let's talk about Nick. All right. Let's talk about Nick. Here's and I was very shocked when I googled this dude, and this dude literally have a Wikipedia. I was shocked that this dude got a Wikipedia, but he do. He do. Hell, I don't even got a wiki. Not yet, at least. But dang, this dude got one. But let me show y'all. Let me show y'all. That's not it. That's my screen here. Oh, screen. All right. So here's Nick Fuentes. Just like I say, this dude got a Wikipedia. This dude is 24 years old, causing all type of chaos. A 24-year-old, Lord. Mm-mm-mm. So you know what I was doing when I was 24 years old? I was in community college and partying. This dude here literally is a straight supremacist at 24 years old. That's crazy. That's crazy. But this is Nick right here. We'll click on this wiki. So here it is. Nick, he's born August 18th. He's an American white supremacist, political commentator and live streamer. A former YouTuber, his channel was permanently suspended in February for violating one of YouTube's hate speech policy. He is known for holding anti-Semitic views and denying the Holocaust. Fuentes identifies as a member of the incel movement, as a supporter of authoritarian government, and as a Catholic integrist and a Christian nationalist. Collaborating with Patrick Casey, a former leader of the neo-Nazi organization, identified Europe in 2019. Fluence followers known as groupers, my bad, began to heckle Turning Point's cultural war toward include a speaking event for Donald Trump Jr. In 2020, seeking to establish white supremacy's conference to rival CPAC, Fuentes began holding an annual American First Political Action Conference. Fuentes attended the 2017 white supremacist rally in Charlottesville and later was an attendee and speaker at events preceding the 2021 United States Capitol attack. He encouraged the use of jokes and irony among white nationalist groups stated that it is so important for giving a lot of cover and plausible deniability of our views. In late November 2022, Fuentes, along with Kanye West, I did a show on this on season 6. Y'all check it out. But met with former President Trump during a dinner. The meeting received significant comments for domestic and international political figures, with the debate surrounding the dinner being called the most discomforting moment in U.S. history in a half a century or more for American Jews. Now, why is this important? Why is this important? I'm giving you his brief background. The reason why this is important is because when Pearl made a decision to have this dude on her platform, this dude already scoped out her content. Once again, this dude already scoped out her content. He did homework on her. He knew that Pearl was pretty much a part of the Black Manosphere. He knew that. So that's why when they began to do the one interviews and stuff like that, Nick was manipulating the interview to coerce Pearl into talking into certain type of talking points to expose herself. Now, do Pearl have the same views as Nick? In some sense, she do, because she revealed that on her show. But at the same time, Pearl, she didn't want to ruin her reputation in the Black Manosphere. So that's why at first she was treading lightly, but Nick was the one who manipulated this girl. Nick was the one who coerced this girl into opening herself up to how the way she really, really felt about her networking abilities with the one Black Manosphere. He did that. And Pearl thus fell for it. She fell for a hook, line, and sinker. Just like I said, at the same time, on Pearl, these are things that was buried deep in her, how the way she really felt. Nick just manipulated to get it out of her. But all in all, Pearl didn't realize the assignment. Pearl didn't realize that all in all, the number one reason why Nick wanted to go on to that show is for Nick to divide the Black Manosphere. That's where it boiled down to. And you want to know the best way to divide a person or to divide groups? You want to know the best way to do that? It's not through gender war. No. It's not through gender war. It's not through religion. Nope. The best way to divide somebody is through political affairs. Preferably dealing with racial disparities. That was Nick's weapon of choice that he used, and he did it successfully. And now, look at the outcome of the whole entire situation. The whole entire Black Manosphere is divided. They're not divided based on relationships. They're not divided based on religion. They're not even divided based on finances. They are divided based on racial disparity. How in the hell is that possible when the Black Manosphere is filled with Black people? So how in the hell did race divide a Black race? The reason why it divided a Black race is for the simple fact, like I stated earlier, that it was already a small crack in the foundation of the Black Manosphere. It was always there. It was always there. But Nick found a way to see it, exploit it, and tear that whole entire thing down by using a woman to do it. This is the reason why I stated earlier that a woman is a man's greatest blessing, and also a woman is a man's greatest curse as well too. It's because that's what Nick did. He used that woman. He used Pearl to fully make that little crack into a huge thing to tear the whole thing apart. And guess what this dude doing right now? This dude over here chilling. He's over here happy, and he done went to his next venture to tear up other stuff. But we're not talking about that. Right now, the conversations is not even going about that, about Nick part in this. Hell, in most cases, for us, what I heard, a lot of these content creators, these black Manosphere content creators, they're either looking over Nick or they giving Nick a pass, but they're focusing on Pearl. Do Pearl have a part of this? Absolutely, she do. And then, like I stated before, that she needs to be held accountable for that. She had to hold herself accountable for making that decision. And y'all want to know what she said too, right? She was on a Obsidian show, right? And y'all want to know one of the key things that she said that I took away from her interview with Obsidian? She said this. She said that the reason why she invited Nick on the show was because she was curious. I want y'all to think about this. And y'all should know where I'm going with this. She said that she was curious. Y'all remember when I gave the on one of my other podcasts, I gave y'all the analogy of Eve biting into Eve finding the fruit in the garden and she ended up causing all this chaos. Don't this sound familiar? Because in the Bible, Eve was curious. Eve had everything that she needed, just like Pearl had everything that she needed. She had monetary value, she had support systems and everything, had everything she needed. Hell, her show thriving. But out of her curiosity, she almost nearly darn near destroyed her whole entire platform out of curiosity. Just as the same way in the biblical Bible, how Eve did the same exact thing. Out of curiosity. Had everything that you possibly need. But there's one little thing. Strike your curiosity. Even when you know you shouldn't do it. But through curiosity, you just did it anyway. And that's what Pearl did. She knew. And she can't sit up here and lie to me. She knew that Nick was a supremacist. Hell, you see how easy it was for me to pull up his Wikipedia. I didn't even know this dude had a Wikipedia. I just Googled the dude and his Wikipedia pulled up. That's how well known this dude is. So she can't sit up here and lie to me. She make a lot to them beta male simps over there, but she can't lie to me. Well, she said up here to my, well, I didn't know. She knew. She knew, but just like she said, she was curious. She was curious. And so her curiosity will cause all this chaos. Her one little curiosity caused something as simple as a small tear blow up into something huge. Her curiosity that literally divided the whole entire black manosphere. And she knew it. She knew better. But she just wanted to do it anyway. But let's talk about this terror, this rip, this divide in the black manosphere. The only reason why this terror, this rip, this divide happened in the black manosphere is for the simple fact that these dudes were weak and is weak in the black manosphere. Let's be real about it. These are some weak ass dudes. And they always been there. That's why I said it was small and it'll stay there. And the only thing that kept it together is them talking about relationships issues. That's the only thing that kept it together. Hell, when Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul, when he was living, his message barely kept it together. Barely. But these are weak beta male simps, dude. Allow that little small crack turn into a huge thing. And just like I say, guess what they talking about? Guess what the conversations that they're talking about right now? PMP, what's up with it, bro? Salute. Hey, your lives, man. Your premieres, keep it up, bro. Keep it coming. You doing it. But you want to know what they're talking about? They're not talking about relationships. They are not talking about relationships once again. They are talking about race. That's what they're talking about. Is race. And that's the reason why this thing is falling apart. And as you can see, this dude here, Nick, he just chilling, just happy. Because I done got these Negroes to fight against each other. Ain't that's not part of what Jim Crow was talking about too? How the way to divide a Negro is first of all go and use the woman. You go use the woman and use psychological warfare on that woman to make her think that she really needs something when she really don't, and use that woman. Ain't that's not what happened? Ain't that's not what happened? And so this woman is her convincing these dudes that, she's the victim in this whole entire situation. Even after she made the decision to do this, I'm the victim in all this, and I did it, and I'm sorry. Then dudes like Obsidian and MTR and all them sitting up her simple for her stuff. Mm-mm-mm. Then dudes like Jason Black and O'Shea Duke Jackson, all them, they see that it was about race, but they targeted that race situation on the wrong person. Pearl was just the product of what really was going on. Pearl was just the end resort of what was really going on. What they should have been focused on is not on Pearl, but what they should have been focused on is on Nick. Because he the one who made it into a race thing. He did. By going on to Pearl's podcast. He did that. He did it fluently. He did it fluently. He did it perfectly. And so that's how it became race. That's why how these dudes sitting up here fighting over race. Sitting up here having panels over race. Like, what the hell? Then this is new thing talking about, well, how's it that a white woman could talk about black people issues, and this whole entire time this woman been talking about black people issues, and y'all been knowing this whole entire time that this woman was just on her capitalizing, that she was just another content creator, clout chaser. I don't know. That's another thing too. I don't know why this is a shock to people too. Oh my God. Do y'all know that on Pearl, she was using this the whole entire time? She was using y'all the whole time? Yeah, duh. It been that way. Like, yeah. That's why I didn't think nothing else of it. I didn't, to be honest with you, I really didn't care. Because I already knew what she was doing. I already knew she was doing that. Hell, if you want to be transparent about it, all of us is doing that, including myself. All of us sitting up here clout chasing on the most trending topic, which in the situation is dealing with black people problem, preferably relationships. I do it. And she was just another person who capitalized on it and just started doing it. But it was y'all men, not me, because I'm not part of this Black Manosphere, but y'all Black Manosphere leaders and stuff like that, the City Young, MTR, and all these other beta males themselves over there. Y'all the one who took it a step further. Y'all the one who decided to give this woman a seat at the table instead of her just being just another one content creator. Y'all the one who did that. Y'all did that. Hell, she could have been just still chilling on TikTok. But y'all the one who made her more than what she needed to be. Y'all did that. And even right now, capping for this woman. Super simple for this woman. And now, in my situation now, it don't have nothing to do with because Pearl is white. It could be any woman. To be frank with y'all, it don't matter to me. Because like I stated, a woman is a man's greatest strength, and she could be the greatest weakness too. Depending on how you look at it. Depending on how that woman is being utilized. Just like I don't know if y'all familiar with the one rules in chess and stuff too. It's just like in chess. The queen is just an important piece, but the knights and the rooks and stuff like that is even more important. Wherever moves that the knights and the rooks and all the stuff make is contingent on what's going to happen to that queen or that woman, and therefore that queen transfer and whatever happened to that queen in the movement is contingent on what's going to happen to the leaders, the king. So, like I say, we got to want to figure this. Y'all gonna have to figure this thing out, Black Manosphere. If not, y'all gonna be forever be divided. You're gonna forever be having these word panels, having super shows, and cussing each other out and doing all this weird stuff. Y'all gonna have to figure out a way to want to fix this on cracking y'all foundation. And stop allowing people, any old people, to come in and have a seat at the table. It's cool to hell guests, but y'all need to cut this crap out. If y'all talking about y'all gonna be a close knitted group or wherever it is that y'all trying to be, then be that close knitted group, because you don't need to invite outsiders to have a seat at the table. Even back in the day, through medieval time and stuff like that, the kings and stuff of this time, they invited guests to come into their kingdom, but they never gave the guests a seat at the table. They never gave their guests that much power. So y'all need to reconsider y'all moves. Start giving people who not worthy way too much power than what they need. If that's what you're trying to do. So that's all I have for this particular podcast. So how now y'all feel about my um, thought process on this situation? Do you agree with me? You disagree with me on this? Because like I say, at the end of the day, it's this dude here who ultimately divided the black manosphere. It's not Pearl. It's this dude here. So when we're gonna start having conversations about this dude, when y'all gonna start having panels talking about this dude right here, about how he got y'all divided and laughing at y'all. Literally, he is. He literally laughing at y'all. Y'all gonna start having panels over this young man. When y'all gonna start talking about that? When y'all gonna realize that this is actually your greatest threat, not Pearl, but this dude is actually y'all greatest threat for the manosphere, the black manosphere. This dude right here. So when y'all gonna start talking about that? Hopefully y'all do it pretty soon, because if not, then it is what it is. Y'all have a one good night, and I'll see y'all again on the next episode.